Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Sorry for not having any videos uploaded in the past week. My wife and I have both been dealing with some form of illness, likely one that she picked up while she was on a European work trip. So like last week was just completely a write-off in terms of trying to get anything done. Pretty much over everything as far as like the symptoms are concerned, except for the lingering cough, which usually whenever I get something that involves a cough, the cough lasts for like a couple of weeks afterwards and just like takes forever to go away. We're also into allergy season, so that's not really helping with that either, unfortunately. But we're back. We're going to start working on some stuff here, and we've got another episode of Miniature Monday. As today, we're going to be taking a look at some Magic the Gathering D&D minis, which I guess was a tie-in to the Adventures of the Forgotten Realms Magic the Gathering card set. I do have a couple packs of that particular set, but I just kept them sealed. Like, I wasn't really interested in opening the packs at the time, so it is kind of interesting that they also made minis for it. And again, speaking of the cough, I might have to edit out some sections where I did bring a drink down. I should have made like a tea or something, but I did bring down this cherry Diet Coke, so hopefully that'll help a little bit here. In fact, we'll crack that open now. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff. All right, and we'll just sort of set that where I can't accidentally hit it. But yeah, so WizKids had a pretty decent sale on their website. I think this was another one that was like 30 to 50% off, or 40 to 50 or 40 to 60% off. They also had a sale on their painted Tarosk mini, which I tried to purchase, but for whatever reason, they wouldn't ship that to Canada, or when that was in my cart, it was saying that the address couldn't be shipped to, but as soon as I removed it and just kept these in here, because I did get one to keep sealed and one to open, then that was perfectly fine, so I don't know why I couldn't get the Tarosk as well, but I really only wanted to pay for something like that when it was like half off, or I think it was even more than half off. It might have been like closer to 70% off for that one, because it was going for pretty cheap, and I would have loved to have had it, but again, I'm not paying full retail. And one of the things that I've often said, and probably one of the reasons why WizKids will never want to work with me, is that when they do their like half off sales, the prices are what I consider to be reasonable. Like, they're prices that I'd be willing to pay for these things, but their full retail prices, honestly, are sometimes just a little too expensive. Like, I don't think this has a suggested retail price on it, which I kind of wish it did, but in Canadian dollars, and I'll preface that again by saying, I am Canadian, so I do live in Canada, and I do pay things in Canadian prices. Similar sets that had like 5 or 6 of these style of minis in this style of packaging, it wouldn't be unusual for them to be like $50 or $60. Usually around like the $10 to $11 price point per mini plus tax, which in my province is 14% sales tax. So I think this was around $25 or so. So, again, about $5 per mini. That's, something I'd be more than willing to pay for. And it is the Companions of the Hall. So I am a huge Legend of Drizzt fan. I have most of the books. I had them all for a while, but I kind of fell behind once we started getting into the the Resurrection era trilogy, or the Reincarnation era trilogy series of, well, it's more than a trilogy now, but a series of books there when like Catti-brie and Bruenor and all of them came back. So anyway, but this, like I said, this was always like a cool looking mini set. It was one that I always, would see when I would check out the WizKids website, but I just, didn't really want to pull the trigger on the prices that they had for it when it was full retail. But at half off, again, I think this was about $25 for me to, again, around the Canadian price. So let's go ahead, pop it open here, and we just have there's no Regis mini, there's no Rumblebelly, which kind of sucks. Especially like in the Reincarnation era, where he was, I think, a water genasi, or had like water elemental. He had like aquatic traits about him. So it would have been kind of cool to have that back. But let's just go ahead and go through the some of the minis here. And it's nice to actually have these minis. Oh my goodness, they are in there. I don't want to break them. Oh, okay. Well, this was the package that I was keeping, or that I wanted to open anyway, so let's just bear with me here and see if I can get this. I am a little concerned or cautious because I had a Starfinder Mini that I just dropped from like kitchen table height, and it snapped right off the base. So I don't want to break any of these guys trying to get them out, but my God, they are in there. I don't think I care for that style of packaging. I think I prefer the ones where they're in the little blister bubble. Alright, we did get them out. So let's go ahead and we will start with Catti-Brie here. Kind of leaning a little backwards there, but that's the actual sculpt of the Mini. Arrow's a little a little wonky, but that's okay. It's also on the inside of the bow, which... Oh, wait. Okay. That's not actually attached. Okay. That's still a bit too high. But, okay. We can sort of fix that a little bit, though. But, again, a decent enough looking Mini there. I mean, like, could do the eyes far better than I could ever hope to. Get it, I don't know if I'll be able to get it to focus. But they do have, like, the eyes done. And it's kind of cool to see her. So this would have been in her so that would be like the Heartseeker bow. So this was pre-injury that turned her into a dual-class character. So if you ever wanted an idea of, like, you know, how to backstory a dual-class from, like, AD&D 1st and 2nd edition into your game, then... you know, Catti-Brie's history, where she fought Obold and suffered a serious injury to, I think it was to her hip. I think her hip was shattered. And healing magic in novels always works differently than it does in the actual game, so that, like, you know, the injury couldn't be properly healed, and, like, she lost a lot of her, like, grace and mobility. So she started studying magic. I believe with the Harples from Longsaddle as well. But yeah, so that's our Catti-Brie Mini. We've also got our Wulfgar Mini. With Aegis Fang. Now, it's interesting that this is, like, depicted more like a maul. Like a two-handed maul, because in, like, the other Mini for Wulfgar, it's depicted more like a one-handed weapon, because he throws it, like it's a thrown weapon. So it's interesting to see it with, like, the two-handed handle there, or the haft, or whatever you want to call it. We got Wulfgar. Again, pretty decent-looking Mini. And then one that I'm actually excited to have, because I do have a Wulfgar Mini. And technically I do have these Minis from the Legend of Drizzt board game, though they're all unpainted. But here's one that I really wanted to have in my collection, and that is Bruenor Battlehammer. So with his one-horned helmet, he's got his axe there. Now, the question is, and I haven't really looked at the other side of him yet, because he was facing out like this way in the packaging, but his shield famously has the symbol, the Battlehammer symbol, which is a beer mug with, like, foam flowing out. I wonder if he actually has the beer mug on his shield. So let's take a look. Oh, it's there. It is there, the beer stein. Come on. It is there. It does look a little frothy at the top. So that's actually pretty cool, because he could also, like, reach behind his shield and just, like, magically produce a mug of ale. And I just loved that, kind of concept. It's one of those things where it's a magic item, it's an enchantment that you could totally see a dwarf having, but one where like it just like what the practical purpose of it might be. I actually, when I was running a D&D game at KingCon last year, I made a pre-gen dwarf cleric, and that dwarf cleric had taken a vow to never get drunk again. So it was one of those things where he couldn't become inebriated, which for most people would mean that they couldn't drink. But he had a magical mug that made it so that he would never become intoxicated from what he drank from it. The same way that I think he could be poisoned if he drank from that as well. It was like one of those like minor magical items. But any alcoholic beverage that you poured into it, he would get like the full flavor of the alcohol, but he would never become drunk as a result. So he could drink as much as he wanted to, and never have to worry about the effects. So anyway, cool stuff there. And just 2 minis to go. So we got Guinevere. And this is a pretty cool looking mini. There are the 30th anniversary or 35th anniversary Legend of Drizzt series of minis that I only have the ones that I have up on my wall, so I don't have like a copy to open. But both of them have like a Guinevere who's on a large base, but also has like these blue lines kind of going through her fur to make it look like she's a mystical, creature from like the Fey realm type of thing, or like she, makes her look more like a summoned creature. Which is okay, I guess, but I just always liked just the Black Panther depiction of Gwen there. And then finally, we've got in one of his most dynamic poses to date, we've got the legend himself. We have Drizzt Do'Urden, and he is jumping down, like flying through the air, scimitars out. I like the fact that they actually did color both of them differently, because a lot of times in the Drizzt minis, the swords will both look the same. So even the handles do look different on both weapons there. So that's actually a pretty cool little attention to detail. And he's got his leather armor on, although he does wear like mithril chain, I think. But yeah, that's just like a cool looking mini. I think it's based off of Lockwood artwork there. And if I had easy access to it, like if I didn't have a bunch of stuff in front of it, I would actually, because I think it looks a lot like the artwork from the what was it called there? The Pirate King? During the transitions series of stories, like where they were transitioning from third to fourth. You had one where Drizzt was like leaping down and Gwen was there kind of with them, and it kind of looks something like that in the artwork. So anyway, pretty cool stuff. So that's it. It's just a nice little set of the 5 minis there, the Companions of the Hall minus Regis Rumblebelly. Again, it kind of sucks that he's not there. Like, for the price that they're charging for this thing, having a 6th small size, halfling mini, wouldn't really, be the end of the world type of thing. He was included in the board game, the 4E era Legend of Drizzt board game, so I don't know why they couldn't have put him in here. But you still get a pretty cool sort of assortment of minis there, so I'd say look out for this one when it goes on sale on like the WizKids website, or if you have it at your local game store and it's for a decent price. These minis are definitely worth picking up, especially if you're a huge Drizzt fan like I am. So it's really kind of cool to have these characters here, and just be able to have them set up on some sort of I'll do some sort of display with them. Right now I've got a thing with like my heroes and my villains, where I have like Drizzt and Wolfgar from the Legend of Drizzt scenario thing with the Gargantuan White Dragon. So I might try to set up some sort of like battle scene or something like that. But yeah, really cool looking minis. Decent quality. Like these look a lot better than some of the other WizKids minis that I've reviewed. So like the paint jobs aren't like, they're not going to win any awards, but they are pretty competent. They are pretty solid, and they do make a good use of like different colors. Some minis that I have, like I've got the Hobgoblin Warband, And some of those hobgoblins only have 2 different colors on them, like for the entire paint job. Aside from like white or black for the eyes, they only have like 2 colors that are used throughout the entire mini. So there's definitely a lot more effort that went into this one here, and it definitely shows. So yeah, a cool set of minis. Like I said, if you can get them for a decent price. I still don't think full price would be worth paying for. Again, I can only reference the Canadian prices that I've seen for these things, and I forget what they were online. I could have looked it up before I started the video, but I didn't, so there you go. But yeah, cool looking minis. Let me know if you are a fan of the Legend of Drizzt stories. Who's your favorite character? I'm also a huge fan of Artemis and Jarlaxle. I think Jarlaxle is truly my favorite character from all of those novels, because he's just so like manipulative and unpredictable, but you know, like, he's definitely the hero in his own story, whether he's actually a hero or not, type of thing. But I do love the Companions of the Hall as well, so some really awesome minis here. So thank you guys so very much for your time. I appreciate it, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, take care.